So that might be a feature of the service that I offer. Then in my URL, I'm going to type in my web address. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that a lot of people ignore this. Like, let me give you an example. If I type in St. Louis Health Insurance Affordable, is anybody doing it? No. Okay. You see your URL here. This is your display URL. That is the same as this line right here. Now, if this guy was smart, and none of these guys are doing this, which is unfortunate for them, but your display URL is a part of your ad. And you should take advantage of as much of that little bitty piece of space that you have. So what I would do if I were this guy is put www.vimo.com/affordable. Why would I do that? Because this person is searching for affordable health insurance, so you want to emphasize as much as you can that you're going to take them to a page on your website where you're talking about affordable health insurance plans. So if you can put that in your display URL too, that's just one more little piece of the puzzle that can convince that person who has, 20 different options of things to click on the screen that yours is the best one to go to. You always want to use and take advantage of as much of that real estate in your ad as you possibly can. Now, I'm not going to actually, so that's how I would do it if this were, well, actually I'd have to do something else because it doesn't quite fit. Now, I'm not going to do that on this ad because this is just my general health insurance ad, but if I were making an ad targeted towards people searching for affordable health insurance, I would type affordable or cheap. Well, probably not cheap. Really don't like that word as a business person. And then finally, your destination URL is that's where you tell Google where you want people to land on your site. So if I want, you don't have to send people to your homepage, and oftentimes you don't want to send people to your homepage. If you've got, again, if somebody was searching for pet health insurance, then you would want to send them to the page. Maybe it's let's see, services pets.html. And you've got a lot of space for writing long web addresses in here. So nice of Google to allow for that. Okay, so this is, but in this case I'm not going to send them there, just going to send them here. So I click Save, and we're ready to go. Now, so we've written our first ad, which is good. Now I want to show you a little trick, though. Something that's very smart to do, very savvy to do on Google AdWords is to do what's called split testing. That is where you write two different versions of your ad, and then you run them both, have Google alternate them, back and forth, and you track over time which one is having more success. So once your ad starts running, you're going to see how many impressions that ad gets, how many times people have clicked on it, and then the CTR, that's called your click-through rate, which is basically your percentage of out of how many times the ad has been shown, how many times have people clicked on it. You really should shoot for a bare minimum of 1% click-through rate. It's really, if you can get more up in the 2 to 5% range, that's that's much better. There are going to be some ads where you can get into double digits. Those you can't do that on you can't do that very much, but it all depends on what market you're in. But anyway, getting back to the point, if you have two different ads running, you track and see which one is having the better click-through rate, and then so you've got two different versions of your ad, and whichever one is performing better, that's the one that you keep running. And then maybe you try writing a new ad and try to beat the performance of your old one, and keep going like that until, if you slowly do that time and time and time again, you're eventually going to hopefully wind up with an ad that performs like, 2, 3, 4 times better than it would be performing if you had just, written one ad, never tried anything different, and left it alone. So there's definitely a big advantage of testing different things over time, and Google gives you the tools to do it, but you have to have the persistence to follow through on that and make it happen. So let me just show you a quick example of that. If I want to write a different ad, I'll hit text ad, and let's say, let's see, what should I change? I will change, usually you just want to change one thing in your ad rather than, well, it depends, but I tend to prefer changing, just one small thing at a time on my ad, on my different version of the ad, because if you change too many different things at once, it gets really hard to say what caused one ad to perform so much better than the other. Okay, so this time I'm just going to change my benefit line and see if I can find a different benefit that might appeal more to people. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I might offer as a health insurance agent, having never been one. But let's say get your insurance quote in minutes. Just barely fits. Okay, and I save that ad. And now I've got two different versions of my ad that are going to run, and Google is going to alternate them. And again, if I come back in and check how each one of them is doing, I can, over time, given enough time, see, usually one is going to stand out from the other. Sometimes it happens very quickly, sometimes it takes longer. It all depends. But I definitely recommend split testing your ads on AdWords, because it's going to help you find the best performing ad that you can, which is definitely a good thing. So that has been some insight for you on how to write your first ad on Google. Tomorrow we're going to come back and talk about a very important subject, which is conversion tracking. But we will delve more into that topic tomorrow. For today, we're going to wrap up. Again, this is Matt with Internet Profit Consultants. I thank you very much for listening, and I will see you tomorrow.